Hey guys, hope you and the families are doing well. Today's date is the last day of October. It is October 31st, 2025. So what we're going to be doing in this session is very specific. The first part, I'm going to teach you a lot of things about watch lists, so screening, layouts, monitors, and all of that good stuff. So we're going to go through various different things because I really find having this kind of multiple layout monitor setup thing that I'm going to be teaching you about just makes trading so much kind of easier. It's not easy. It takes kind of a lot of work, a lot of skill to get to certain levels. But just having your how you're kind of setting up your trading desk and your watch lists and your monitors, I think can make such a difference because at the end of the day, we're trying to get right stocks, right time, right management. So these are the last couple of days. That's Fed day. That's yesterday. That's David Hawkins, by the way. I find this really interesting. This is a complete side note, but thinking about your level of consciousness when you are trading, you may want to look into that. Power versus Force and Letting Go by David Hawkins. Have a look into that and where you are in terms of your level of consciousness when you're trading. A little bit woo woo, but maybe some important stuff there. Maybe some important stuff there. This from today as well. Before I took this screenshot, 2% in that account. But anyway, so it's been a good last couple of sessions or so, and I'll try and show you how you can set up your monitors and whatnot to try and help with that. So there is a post on the platform if you want to go and read it. It's this one here from the Start Here page, My Trading Setup and Considerations when Setting Yours Up. I'm going to be talking about this photo here, and then what I'm going to do is then take you through various watch lists that I've kind of preset for today. So we're then going to imagine that you've got these monitors. So let me see if I can find it. There we go. We're going to imagine that you've got these various monitors. I'm going to doodle on it and how you can start setting up different charts. And you can start saying, okay, there's potentially opening range breakouts forming, and these are the strongest stocks, and they're from this specific theme, or actually the indexes are flush down and they're beginning to Immorello. And what's quite nice about today is we've got both ORBs, but we've got both Immorellos as well. And then I'm going to go through the importance of identifying the intraday relative strength too. So appreciate a lot of information is going to come at you very quickly, but hopefully it'll be useful. I'm going to show you a couple of these layouts as well. If you want any of the layouts that I'm going to be going through, if you go to the Start Here page, appreciate some of it's kind of blocked off with how I've done the Zoom webinar. But if you go to the Start Here and you scroll down on the Start Here, you'll see the TradingView chart layouts. So if you want some of the ones that I'm about to blabber on about, you'll find them there. One of the ones that we're going to be focused on is this the 5-minute chart layout and the new ORB indicator. You may want to add that to them as well. But we're going to go through a couple of ORBs that have happened today, a couple that didn't happen, such as Amazon and Apple. Pointed to those the wrong way around, didn't I? Apple and Amazon, and you can see the bearish first 5-minute candlesticks. That's just telling me I don't want to touch those for opening range breakouts. Yeah, they may be gapping up on their earnings reactions, but the first 5-minute bar, no, I don't want to be there. I want to be in some of these other stocks like PLTR or CLTO or something like that. And they're going to take you through some that don't necessarily go initially, but then you start to see the strength during the session as the session starts unfolding. So I'll take you through EOS, Nvidia, SMCI, CoreWeave that I sold too early. As I said, I tend to exit some positions. So I sold CoreWeave before that, basically. That's annoying, isn't it? Hey ho. And then I'm going to show you some that are also lagging because not only are you trying to identify intraday relative strength when you're kind of setting up your trading view layout or your trading monitor layout, as I'm going to show you, it's also about trying to avoid intraday relative weakness because there might be times where you see, oh, this stock looks great, it's going to in Morella, it's going to, but then you see it relative to the index and you're like, that's really weak. Why would I touch that? Actually, I want to be focusing over here where the strength is. I don't want to be in this stock from what's a weakening to that. I want to be in the strongest stocks. So hopefully by the end, you're going to get a good sense of that. And I'm going to teach you how to screen on TradingView, and I'll teach you how to screen on Stock Screen Hero. Stock Screen Hero is obviously on the platform. A lot of what you could do on Stock Screen Hero, when we built it, when Simon built it, I didn't do anything. When Simon built it, you weren't able to do it on TradingView. Now you are able to do much of it on TradingView, such as having the ADR as a filtering criteria. So I'm going to teach you how to run some screens on TradingView, Stock Screen Hero as well, how to kind of organize your watch list, creation of watch lists, think about TMLs, think about momentum leaders there. Probably going to be a little bit full on for the next 20 minutes or so. So let me load up that picture again, and I'm going to start doodling on this. So let me go get the annotation tool. So with your layout, and hopefully by the end of this, you'll see, okay, that may make sense. I don't know whether you want to do it quite like this, whether you want to change it or whatnot. Mine looks a little bit different now, but the basic premise is the same. Okay, what I think you need is I think you need a main monitor. Okay, so we're just gonna doodle what color is gonna show up. Okay, here I'm gonna call this main monitor. Okay, MAIN. I think you need a main monitor. Now, what the main monitor does, number one here Okay, this is going to be my daily chart. Okay, and then it's linked to the 5-minute chart here. So 1 and 2 are daily and 5-minute. Okay, now this here is the triple Qs. Okay, that's the Qs. This is the SPY. And both of these are on the 5-minute. Excuse the bad handwriting, but try and stay with me. Okay, like this. So what I do is I'll have my watch list. Can you see here? You see this here? This is like my focus watch list. You see that on the side of TradingView? That there is my focus watch list. So I can kind of just be clicking through things like that. And then when I do that, and I'll show you how to then create that kind of watch list in TradingView, I use TradingView. I don't use TC2000, don't use other things for doing this watch list. I use TradingView. So if you want to ask me about I don't know. I use TradingView. TradingView is the best in my view for doing this. It's very, very, very good. So as I scan through here, okay, this daily chart, this looks like an O, doesn't it? It's supposed to be a D. This daily chart and this 5-minute chart are linked. So as soon as I click on a ticker here, or I type in a ticker, so let's say I wanted to type in ticker A, B, C like this, okay? I'll try and do it a little bit faster than that, A, B, C like this. It will load up for me the daily chart and the 5-minute chart, super duper quick. And this monitor that you can see here, okay, if I just kind of go around it in the pink, this monitor that you can see here, this is the one that we're currently using for this Zoom webinar. Again, we're just kind of focused over here because of it's a 34-inch curved monitor. For me, 34-inch curved monitor is the main monitor. That is nice. That is a nice size. I don't think you want anything kind of too big because I don't know, 34-inch, that kind of suits me there, okay? So we've got the daily and we've got the 5-minute here. Now, why I put the 5-minute chart here is if I'm trading ORBs or I'm trading in Murillos, okay, I want to be very aware and vigilant to is the stock on that kind of entry candlestick for the 5-minute ORB, or when it's taken out a higher day, or when it's in Morello and it's starting to turn up. What I want to do is really dial in and focus, is the stock at that moment in time or prior to that moment, even better if it is, showing intraday relative strength versus the major indexes. So here, for instance, that looks to be, what is that? That may be Oklo. So if you take a look at Oklo here, can you see how the triple Qs, I know it's really small, but can you see how the triple Qs has only just started to take out high of day and the SPY's only just started to take out high of day? Look at Oklo. Oklo has already gone. Oklo on that day was showing intraday relative strength. It's probably a 5-minute ORB that I traded. It's also gapping up. You see that on the daily chart? So it's gapping up plus showing intraday relative. So what I can do there is get here, looking at the 5-minute ORB there on Oklo, I go, oh, great, showing intraday relative strength versus the Qs and the SPYs. So for me, I'm then only turning my head like that. I don't even need to turn my head. You can just glance with your eyes and I can go, okay, I can see what the indexes are doing. I can see the Qs and the SPYs. And then what I can do as well is I can see the 5-minute chart. Now, what I have actually got over here is there's a really small sliver over here that actually shows, it's kind of where this 5-minute chart is. It actually shows the daily charts right over here for the Qs and the SPYs. And it just shows me like the last 4 or 5 candlesticks. So I can then just be aware of where are the indexes in terms of the 5-minute chart. How does that correlate to the daily chart? That's kind of a little difference here. Okay, I actually have split 5-minute this side, daily chart that side. Why? So then I keep the 5-minute charts closest together. Just works better. Just works better for me and my flow. Okay, so that there is the main layout. Now with the brokerage accounts, what I do is I will pop them up here. So then when I want to take a trade, I personally would not have your brokerage account where you're just like staring at your P&L all day. Like it will just drive you absolutely bloody bonkers. What I would do is just pop it up here. So I will often use the trader workstation, which is TWS by Interactive Brokers, and it will be down here on a tab, and then I just pop it up, and then it will kind of pop up here, down here like this. So I'll just kind of like shade it like this. So it'll pop up here like this, and then I can really quickly enter orders and whatnot. Okay, we spoke a couple of weeks ago about hotkeys and things like that. So I can just pop it up. So then when it pops up here, okay, I can still see the 5-minute chart of the stock. I can still see the 5-minute chart of the indexes. And then in real time, I can then be making those decisions. Okay, is it showing strength? Is it not? Is it not showing strength? So I will pop it up. I will bring it up, close it down like that. Okay, if you just have it open all day, you'll probably just overtrade, stare at your P&L and trade really badly. Speaking from experience, okay? So I don't like to just stare at it all day. For me, ADHD brain, I find it a mega distraction. So I don't want to do that. So that kind of covers that, okay? In terms of the main layout. Toll saying, are you growing wheatgrass under that right-hand side? Inquiring minds. Nope, that is Fetchka from IKEA, just because it makes things look a little bit neater while I was kind of setting this up. So no, it is not grass. It's fake grass. Hence why it's inside. Anyway, I digress. So going back to here, that's put me off flow now. I'm not going to read any questions while I'm flow. So then what we've got here is 43-inch TVs. Okay. I might swap these to 65-inch because I upgraded on TradingView. So it now means that I can set these up better, okay? And just a little side note, if you are using this, so if you're using TradingView and you see all these 5-minute charts, and I'm now going to teach you about the 5-minute charts, okay? If you want to maximize the space on the 5-minute charts, what you can do is press, I don't know if this works on a Mac, but for Windows, Shift F, okay? Shift F, click on the chart, click on one of the 5-minute charts and press Shift F. That'll maximize the space, okay? It'll get kind of rid of this sideline a little bit here, okay? It'll maximize the space for you. That's what I found. So do that. You can also just drag and drop it. You can split screen. I don't want to teach grandma how to suck eggs, but obviously if you just open various different layouts, you can then kind of drag, drop it into the corner over here or the corner over here, Shift F, you'll maximize the space, okay? Now these 8x5-minute charts, so these are 8x5-minute charts. Now what I try and do here with the 8x5-minute charts is I try and group it by themes. Now, we're going to go through the scanning in a minute, but I try and group it by theme. So this here is invariably, it now looks a little bit different because this has now got 1632. This has got 48 charts on it. Over here has got 32 charts on it, and this one here has got 16 charts on it. As I might kind of upgrade this one maybe to like a 65-inch because I'm going to move my office around over the Christmas period and stuff like that. So I may upgrade this. If you do go down the TV route, so for me, I would go have a monitor, your main monitor, like a 34-inch curved monitor here. I would use TVs, try and ensure that they are 4K ready. Otherwise, you're not going to get the same kind of quality of the charts. So 4K ready TVs, 43-inch, 65-inch. I think that's kind of best, kind of bang for the buck. You go 65-inch. It's probably a little bit kind of overkill and stuff like that, really. But on these charts here, I would try and categorize them. And I'm going to show you how to screen in a minute. Okay, so here for me, it looks a little bit different now. But this right here, I'm just going to write mega. This tends to be mega caps. So here I might have, like today, this is like Apple. This here is it's actually Tesla, but you could have like Nvidia, you could have Broadcom, Tesla, Meta. Okay, I'm keeping an eye on the mega caps. Okay, what I then like to do is have some of the TML type stocks. So if you take a look here, it's a little bit hard to see, but this one here, this is PLTR. This is Robinhood. This is CoreWeave. That's Rocket Lab here. That was HIMS over here. This was SMCI. So I tend to have your kind of TML type stocks. So at the lower portion here, I tend to have mega caps and TML type stocks. So some of the TMLs right now for me, PLTR, Robinhood, CoreWeave, MBIS, SoFi, ASTS, Bloom Energy, BE, EOS, some of them. And then what I try and do is the other various 5-minute charts. I tried to categorize them, okay? So up here, for instance, let's say that this here is going to be a quantum related stocks. So this here, I'm just going to change the color so it's maybe a little bit less confusing, but this could be IONQ, this is Regatti, this is QBTS, and this here is LAES. So I'm trying to categorize them, and hopefully it'll make sense in a few minutes time when we start going through the actual layouts, and we'll look at stocks from today for why you want to categorize them. You're trying to make it easy for yourself. Okay, trading is difficult and stressful enough, so you're trying to make it easy for yourself and go, okay, where am I seeing the strength? Where am I seeing the intraday relative weakness? What are the strongest themes? What aren't the strongest themes? Where do I want to be? Where do I want to be focusing? If I start to see Immorellos for, say, a precious metal miner, well, what are the other precious metal miners doing? Is there that group theme confirmation? Next up, this could be, say, drone stocks. So in here, okay, if I just do this, this could be drone stocks. So it could be, say, ONDS, it could be Red Cat, it could be Dragon Pro, it could be UMAC, like that. Up here, this could be, what have I got up here at the moment? This is a kind of more TMLs at the minute. This is like a Micron and a SanDisk and stuff like that, okay? But I'm just trying to categorize things. Let's then go like a SanDisk. But let's say over here, and let me then just change the color again. Let's maybe go for a green. Okay, then up here, what I might have is clean alternative energy related stocks. So oftentimes I will have OCLA, I will have SMR, I'll have NNE, and I might have like a CCJ or something like that. Okay, so then it can be that. So then when I'm going through, and I'm dialed in and I'm looking, I can just visually look around and see where is the strength. And I do the same over here. So this could be over here. This could be, say, crypto miners. This over here could be precious metal miners, precious metals. I'll just put PMs for precious metal, okay, and so on and so forth, right? So you're just trying to run your screens So screening, scanning, and just go, okay, where am I seeing the strength? Where am I potentially seeing the setups? Then you start to categorize them, and then you stick them on your monitors in places that it's easy to see. So, okay, if there's buy stop limit orders that are triggering, if there's ORBs that look really good, if there's Immorellos that look really good, you can just really quickly, really easily start to see it. Now, if you don't want to have all these monitors, what you could do is you could utilize different tabs. So like I'm going to be scrolling through in a minute, you could just utilize tabs. If you only have, say, kind of a monitor here and maybe a TV here, and you want to look at a few more, well, what you could then do is start to utilize a tab. So before I close this down, hopefully that there is making sense. So Benjamin saying, so you have four stocks per group. I thought you had eight. This is all just illustration purposes, Benjamin. Sometimes there's 7, sometimes there's 9, sometimes there's 11, sometimes there's 2. It just depends. I'm just trying to show you here. Just think about categorizing it. Like, understand what I'm saying at a high level. Don't take this as this what everything looks like all the time. It doesn't. At the moment, there's 4 quantum stocks that I'm looking at. There's 4 drone stocks that I'm looking at. But precious metal miners, there's about 13, 14 of those. Crypto miners, there's maybe about 10 of those that I watch on a daily basis. So I wouldn't get too kind of caught up in the minutiae. Just try and understand what I'm saying from a high level here, okay? So I'm going to now close this down, and then I'll kind of explain it a little bit more in terms of how you want to start maybe thinking about things, and then how you can start running the screenscape. So we'll close this one down, minimize that there. Okay, so in terms of then the screens, let me take you through some from today, okay? So these are all stocks that were on my various watch lists today, okay, or various kind of monitors. So I'm watching them right now. The ORB highlighter indicator thingy-majiggy, right? I actually find it really useful. I didn't know if I'd find it really useful, but I do find it really useful. Now, the settings that I'm currently running for that, okay, is open position. Well, basically, I'm running it at 0.3, 0.8, 0.55, 0.25, and 1.5. They are currently my settings that I have there, okay? Now, the reason that I'm running those settings is because I don't really want to miss too many things. And if things start showing intraday relative strength, I just want my eye to be really quickly drawn to it, okay? So if I'm looking at around about 80 to 100 stocks, then my eye just starts saying, okay, app loving. These are all from today as well. App loving, going green. CRDO, going green. PLTR, got decent R volume coming through as well. PLTR, going green as well. Dragon Pro, that's a drone stock, 10-day, 21-day EMA is right there as well. So I have these intraday moving averages, or the moving averages plotted on the intraday charts. So that's another indicator, right? Search my name on TradingView, find it. Daily EMAs on intraday charts. But if you copy the link for these, I think it may be on there. If not, just add it. Just search in the TradingView indicators. Okay. So what I then see today, why it then makes life easier, if I'm looking at around about 80 to 100 stocks or so, okay, what I then see today is, okay, the triple Qs in the opening 5-minute candlestick is weak, right? It's rolling out of bed. So I see, okay, it's weak. Apple and Amazon, they were gapping up on earnings, but what do I see? Well, they're weak. Do I have any interest in trading Apple? Nope. Do I have any interest in trading Amazon from a 5-minute RV? No, because for me and my mental representations, that is not what a textbook 5-minute opening range breakout looks like. That's not it. Whereas if I then start looking at the likes of an App Lovin or a Dragon Pro or an MU or a CRDO or a PLTI, I start going, wow, that there looks really, really good. Like PLTI, this is a 5-minute ORB I had today. Sometimes they go on big trends, sometimes they don't go on big trends. But I'm going, wow, look at the strength of PLTR relative to the triple Qs today. That is standout relative strength. Now, maybe it goes on a big trend, maybe it doesn't go on a big trend. That is the nature of the beast and variance in your trading results from these type of setups. But from my mental representations, I go, well, when a stock tends to go on a big move relative to its 20-day ADR percentage, it tends to look like this on an opening range breakout on the 5-minute chart. And it tends to display, so take Dragon Pro for instance, it tends to display a lot of intraday relative strength versus the triple Qs. So I'm trying to make my life easier in terms of understanding, okay, what am I looking for? So if you can then set your trading kind of layout up in your 5-minute ORB indicator and things like that, if you like trading ORBs, or Dragon Pro today has now gone on a move of over 20%. So if you then take a look at, say, Dragon Pro here, 14% is the 20-day ADR percentage. So it's gone up over 5% more than its 20-day ADR percentage. Okay, well, what did it do when it did that? When Dragon Pro went on a big day and went on a big run, what did it do? What did it look like? This is how you then build out your mental representations. You go, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. That candlestick looks like that. Opens in the low of that 5-minute bar, opens in the high. Well, that's signaling demand. And it's looking like that relative to the indexes looking like that. And then you start going a level deeper as well. And you start going, okay, when it does go on that big run, what are intraday moving averages that are quite effective? Well, the 5-minute 6 EMA that I blabber on about, look, that encapsulated the entire move. closed below the 5-minute 6 EMA there. It's peaked out over its 20-day ADR percent. That's probably all she wrote for Dragon Pro today. Dragon Pro is starting to roll down. The triple Qs has generally been flat, coming under a little bit of pressure here. Then you start looking at, say, CRDO. So CRDO, well, what did CRDO do today? That's run up 13.28%, and that had a little bit of helping hand from maybe Amazon, its biggest customer, I believe. So it's gone up 13%. Okay, what's the ADR of CRDO? 8%. So let's just call it, it's gone up 2 times its 20-day ADR percentage. Okay, when a stock goes up 2 times its 20-day ADR percentage, well, what does it do? How does it move intraday? What do you see? Does it have similar characteristics to what you see with Dragon Pro? I think a lot of people try and make trading too complicated. It's not complicated. Opens on the low of the 5-minute candlestick, close on the high of the 5-minute candlestick. Look at the strength of CRDO relative to the indexes. And then look, oh, it's at 5-minute 6 EMA again. Now, is the 5-minute 6 EMA, and I kind of use back-to-back closes below it, is it going to encapsulate and you're going to get an absolute massive trend every time? Absolutely not. Are you going to have failed breakouts with 5-minute RBs? Absolutely. So like today, I had MU as well. That's one of the ORBs that I took. So I had MU here, showing a lot of strength versus the versus the Qs. And when it busted the 5-minute 6 EMA like this, and it just rolled back over, I just exited there. Why? But I don't need to wait for it to go all the way back down to low there and stop me out down here. And this is where you build out your mental representations, and you look at hundreds and hundreds and thousands of these, and you start to go, well, if a stock within the first kind of 3-4 candlesticks rolls back over, closes below the 5-minute 6 EMA, that's it. In the vast majority of cases, it stops me out. The best stocks just do that. They rip. They rip. PLTR had an and but it was doing that relative to the indexes doing that. So PLTR is going sideways. The indexes are just rolling out of bed. So PLTR doesn't close below the 5-minute. Okay, so I hold it. But then like today, Apple, Amazon, no interest in trading them. Weak. Really, 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 really weak. Now, if we switch this over, then I can start showing you. So that's more kind of just ORBs, but sometimes stocks go a little bit later. So take EOS, for instance, okay? It had some news in the pre-market, pops up in the pre-market, pulls back down, 21's there, 10's there, right? So I'm looking at EOS. And again, this is why then you're thinking about it relative to the indexes. So I'm looking at EOS, and I'm seeing this. I'm going, okay, supply shoot, supply shoot, supply shoot, and it's basically back to back to back inside bars. Okay, supply shoot. Well, that's interesting. Look at what EOS is doing. Now, these supply shoots, if you don't have the context of the indexes, you may think, oh, it's forming supply shoots, it's terrible, it's bearish. It's trying to go up, just got these wicks on top. But then you're missing the point of what EOS is doing relative to the indexes. Look at the triple Qs in the first 20 minutes. Down, 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 down. Look at EOS. I want to go higher, want to go higher, want to go higher, want to go higher. Just leave me alone, indexes. Go away, algos. I want to go higher. So then there's EOS, which then starts going at 950 today. That's when the indexes kind of starts to subside down there in terms of going down. EOS goes through high day. So look at EOS at 950 relative to the indexes, which is 1 bar full there. So EOS is then breaking out. That's showing me a tremendous amount of intraday relative strength. Boom, I want EOS. If I then start looking here, what you had is an Immorello today coming through at 1030. So there's the Immorello for the indexes, and there is the Immorello 1030 for NVIDIA. You can see nice shakeout demand tail there. The MACD turns here. But then when I'm looking at NVIDIA, I'm going, is NVIDIA a whole heap stronger than the indexes today? I mean, it tried to go, then it just rolled over. So maybe NVIDIA is not the best Immorello there. Actually, maybe there's better opportunities than looking at NVIDIA that is a bit of a laggard at that time, right? Whereas if we go and take a look at, say, SMCI, well, look at this. 1005, high of day breakout. There's 1005 for SMCI, and it starts to break out through high of day right there as the indexes effectively bottom. I know there's a little kind of shakeout demand tail over here. Okay, there's that little shakeout demand tail, but look, 1005. SMCI ripping through high of day. Well, I want to trade SMCI instead of NVIDIA. NVIDIA looks like a laggard today. I want to be in EOS. I want to be in SMCI. I don't want to be tied up in NVIDIA. If I start looking at CoreWeave, so then I had an entry on CoreWeave in here, and then I sold it too early because of the live coaching session. I didn't know what was going to happen, basically. But if you then take a look here at 1025, look at around 1025, 1030 for CoreWeave relative. Let me just clean up the indexes. Let's clean up the indexes here. Okay, so take a look at CoreWeave in here. So CoreWeave in here around 1025, 1030 relative to the indexes. The indexes just made a new low of day about 15 minutes prior to that. Is CoreWeave anywhere near its low of day? Nope. So why do I want to be in NVIDIA? I want to be in CoreWeave. I want to be in SMCI. I want to be in EOS. So I trade pretty kind of aggressively and actively this last couple of days. So in 4%, 6%, 2%, because I'm dialed in on stuff like this. Like, I'm not hearing like laggards and go, oh, Nvidia, and yeah, there's stronger stocks elsewhere. Like there's stronger stocks elsewhere. So if I then just show you as well, so then when you have your kind of layout like this is now just focused on laggards, okay, for stocks that I don't want to trade. So you might be looking at Meta and you might be thinking here, so let's say Meta, let's point to it at 10. Where's that tool gone? Let's point to Meta here at 10:30. Right. So 10:30 for Meta, and let's go 10:30 for the indexes, which is going to be here. And we've got 4 indexes, just so we can kind of keep them overlaid, okay? So if we take a look here, 10:30 for the indexes, what is stronger? Because you may be looking at Meta thinking, there's the 200 up there, and you think, oh, there's a deep down Immorello in here. Meta is just weak. It's a laggard. Take a look at it. 10:30. It is trying to get back above that. Okay, it reclaims the 5-minute 6 EMA, the MACD pops, and this is where a lot of your kind of Immorellos, if you're trading Immorellos and you're kind of new to them and you think, oh, Meta, Immorello, take it. You're missing the context relative to the indexes. Stocks need to be stronger than the indexes. If they're not, you're really going to struggle with them. So Meta here at 10:30 reclaims the 5-minute 6 EMA. Okay, the MACD goes positive, but look at the triple Qs. Triple Qs is breaking out over the highs of the last 20 minutes or so. Okay, putting this nice shakeout demand tail here. Is Meta reclaiming those highs? Nope. You might say, oh yeah, but it's putting this highlight. Yeah, but is it reclaiming those highs? Nope. Look at the strength of the bar at 10:30 relative to the indexes. The indexes goes up more, stronger reclaim. MACD turns for the indexes as well. And then what starts to happen with Meta is it instantly rolls over, while the indexes push. That is intraday relative weakness. I don't want to trade it. It's the same point with Amazon. Look at Amazon at 10:40. Okay, I know I'm spending a little bit of time on this. We'll do some bar by bar shortly, but I really want you to kind of get this and think about your trading out with like Black Friday coming up and things like that. Get a couple of TVs, but I'd go TVs instead of monitors for this kind of stuff. Okay, take a look at Amazon. Like here, you might think, oh, Amazon, Immorello, look at that, 1040. I want it, 1040. Well, where are the indexes at 1040? They're all the way up here. You see that? Why were the triple Qs and the algos able to go up, 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 up for about 20 minutes, and Amazon went down, 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 down? See how the context is all off here? Like Amazon, rubbish in Morello there. Meta, rubbish in Morello there. U. I still think that's pretty rubbish. Take a look at U. 1050. The indexes are all the way up here. And U, this is then how you can start to kind of categorize things. Why would you trade U on an Immorello at the 10-day when UEC, another uranium stock, has just done that? Look at the move UEC's just had. Why are you trying to trade U? When I say you, I don't mean you, but you know what I mean, right? Why would you try and trade an Immorello in U when one, it's lagging the indexes and the indexes are just run off low of day, and it's kind of little brother stocks, or maybe it's big brother stock depending on market caps here, has just powered off low of day. Why would you go anywhere near U? Like it can help you just avoid so many kind of bad trades that you would have had if you can sort your layouts out. Okay. Let me now teach you how to screen. So I'm going to teach you in Stock Screen Hero, and I'll teach you on TradingView. I'll teach you on Stock Screen Hero first. There are only really 4 criteria. But yeah, there's basically 4 criteria you need for screening, right? Do not get caught up in all this nonsense with this and this and this and try and make everything complex. It's completely irrelevant. You don't need to do it, okay? Keep it simple. Like, just keep it really, really simple. The idea with screening is you want to have mental representations of when a stock goes on a big move, thinking about it for the daily chart. When a stock goes on a big move, what does it look like on the daily chart? What are the repeatable characteristics? If you then want to trade, say, ORBs or Immorellos on those leading stocks, okay, well, what did the daily charts look like? Were they above key daily moving averages? Were they below key daily moving averages? Were they above some but below others? And this then just feeds into your criteria. So there's really only 4 criteria I think you need to run effective screens. That is going to be 1, price above the 50-day SMA. This is looking specifically for leading stocks on the long side, buy stop limit orders, ORBs, Immorellos, trigger bars, gap down reverse bars, shakeout demand tails, all of that good stuff. Okay, it's 4 criteria. That is it. It is just 4. You don't need to make it any more complicated than that. Don't even worry about this 1 month gain, 3. Just don't worry about it. Just do not worry about it. Price versus the 50-day moving average. I want it to be above. Price versus the 200-day moving average. I want it to be above. They are the only 2 moving average criteria I think you need. If you start going, oh, I want it to be above the 20 watt, you'll misled. Okay, 50-day, 200-day. Simple. the stock is much more likely to be in a nice uptrend or potentially basing around its 10-day, 21-day, okay? The only other two criteria I think you need is setting a 20-day average daily range percentage. I set it for this screen here. This is the preset, uptrend, narrow, 2%. I want the ADR to be greater than 2%. If you think about the indexes, you take an average of the SPY and the triple Qs over the course of about a year, they will run at around about 1%. So what I'm doing here by setting it at greater than 2% is I'm just saying I want the stocks to be twice as quick as the major indexes. Okay, don't care if a stock has a 1.2%. It's slow, it's boring. I'm not interested in it. Okay, not interested in it. What you'll tend to find is your kind of TMLs, that's your O'Neill, CanSlim leaders, the earnings to sales, the estimates, the story, new growth area, they tend to run at somewhere between 2% and 5%. When you start getting into momentum leader type territory, yeah, they tend to run anywhere from kind of 5% up to 30%. Okay. So what I'm looking for is TMLs, momentum leaders, don't care about the slow old laggards like the Microsoft. So they're not interested in trading them. Okay. That's me. So 20-day ADR percentage, set that. Okay, greater than 2% minimum, I would say. Then the only other criteria that you need, so TradingView, you weren't able to do this when we built Stock Screen here, which is kind of why we built it, because TradingView was so slow. TradingView still didn't have these multi-chart layouts, which I think are nice. They didn't have 20-day ADR percentage, and they didn't have the only other criteria I think you need, which is 50-day average dollar volume. Honestly, the only four you need. Above the 50, above the 200, set the ADR for how many results you want back, and set the minimum 50-day average dollar volume that you want. A nice kind of benchmark is greater than 25 million. That means the stock will have some level of liquidity. Okay, you want to start bumping that up to 50 million, 100 million, 250 million, something like that. Have that, play around with it. They are the only four criteria that you need. Honestly, they are the only four that you need to find. That's all I use, and I don't think I miss hardly any of the TML's momentum leaders. And when they're making their moves, that's it. That's all I do. Like, keep it really, really simple. And then here, if you want to go through them, I would suggest doing it either by kind of 20-day ADR percentage. So you're looking at the quickest one first, but actually going through them by industry group. That then helps you with the kind of piecing together of, oh, okay, that's interesting. Quantum stock, quantum stock, quantum stock, or, well, there's a load of precious metal miners setting up. So I would do it by industry group. Okay, don't worry about setting it by, look at the highest 1 month percentage gainers first, or the 5. Just don't worry about it. Industry group is the best way, in my view, because then you're categorizing it and you're getting a feel for, oh, semiconductors are really strong. That could be a really strong theme, or maybe it's whatever it may be, precious metal miners, or quantum computing, or software AI related stocks. That's how I do it. So that's how you can do it on Stock Screen here. If you want to do it on TradingView, okay, this one here, it's just called the Momo screen. Okay, and what I'm doing here, again, very few criteria. There's a couple more here just to kind of filter out a lot of the junk and stuff like that, right? Price greater than $1. I want price above the 200-day moving average. I want price above the 50-day moving average. There's a average volume on a 30-day basis. I just set that to 500k just to help kind of knock out a lot of the liquid stocks. You can take that out if you want. It's unnecessary, because what you can do here is you can do the price times vol on a 1 week, and I've just set that to 50 million. Okay, you can turn that up a little bit if you want. So that's basically just saying I at least want there to be, okay, $10 million worth of dollar volume on a daily basis over the course of a week, okay, for five trading days. If you want to bump that up to 75, 100, 250 million, crack on with it. Basically, it depends how many results that you want to be looking at. I got it set to 50 million, as I sometimes like to see the kind of micro caps, smaller caps that are maybe really volatile with the higher 20-day ADR percentages popping up there. Okay, and I've got the ADR percentage set to 5, so the 20-day average daily range percentage set to 5 and above. Now that gives me 246 results. I'd go through them in one of two ways, either by the industry group or the performance on a 1 week basis. So if I just start here, okay, I can see, okay, that's really strong. That's really strong. It doesn't give me much of a sense of like, okay, is it industry groups, or is there a reason why things are moving? Is it oil and gas stocks and they've all of a sudden gone because of a piece of legislation or an earnings report or something like that? So I would suggest set them to industry group. Because then when I'm going through, I can start seeing, okay, aerospace and defense. Okay, there's a couple of stocks popping up there. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, Archer Aviation. And I know this is closely linked with Joby Aviation as well. Okay, look at that. 10-day, 21-day, back-to-back inside there. Doesn't that look really interesting? Wow. This is literally the third stock. And doesn't that look interesting? Okay, it's got earnings coming up as well. Okay, big base earnings. I can see it's got a history of running there as well. So you've been doodling on this one previously. Okay, it's got this big kind of cup and handle, 50-day, 65-day type. Oof. Look at the low volume run rate as well. RS line ticking up a little bit, prior leader. Okay, that looks interesting. So let's then say you find an interesting stock. As you go through this list, okay, what you can do is just click on it over here. I'm just going to set it to blue to begin with. Press Alt, Enter. Okay, so I like clicking this eye. You probably can't see this eye because it's off the Zoom webinar thing, okay? But what I like doing is as I go through, if I see something interesting, so let's say I go from Archer Aviation to Joby, I press Alt Enter. You see it just there? That little blue flag's turned on. See it? I'm turning it on and off by holding Alt and pressing Enter. So as I go through, okay, what I'm doing is I'm just, okay, Rocket Lab ran its 21-day email. I'll scan through really quickly for you. And I'll just see if I can find some. Okay, we're into biotechs. I don't like trading biotechs at the moment. So let me go here. Okay, Cypher. Okay, that looks interesting. Now I know that's a crypto miner. So we've got Cypher, Marathon. Okay, HUT maybe, APLD. Okay, maybe Iron. That's around the 10-day, 21-day. Okay, we've got Wolf. CLSK, no. See how then I know CLSK. Well, that's lagging Terra Wolf. I don't want to trade CLSK. I want to trade maybe Terra Wolf. So then we keep going for it, okay? And I can just tag them. Let me see if I can get a couple of others quickly. Okay, now we're into battery-related stocks. So, okay, QS having a big day today. Okay, that's nice. SES as well. AMPX, that's another battery stock. SLDP, so that's another battery stock. So I've just gone through and I've gone QS, AMPX, SLDP. They're all battery-related stocks. That's interesting. Why are they moving? I can see the strength that's there. So then when you've gone through and you've tagged them, what I would then suggest doing is I'm going to click this watch list here, click this one here. I'm going to go open list. I'm going to go into that green list. Now the ones that we were just highlighting, they're now right there. So I could do a little bit more work on them, or you can hold Control Alt A, sorry, Control A. Now that will highlight them all. I'm going to right click on them, add all selected to, then you can go pick a watch list. Okay, you could create your own watch list or something like that. What I then think you want to do is start then categorizing your watch list like this. So then you can add these subsections. So you could go here and you could go add section. Again, there, call it whatever you want to call it. But I've got like TMLs, I've got momentum leaders, I've got quantum, I've got precious metal miners, I've got drones, I've got crypto and related, clean alternative energy, so on and so forth, right? Then you can start categorizing it like that. And sometimes stocks drop out, sometimes stocks come in and things like that. But that's how you then screen. So then when you're running through your screens, then you can start creating it like this. And you can then start putting various stocks together and go, okay, really like the semiconductors, they're showing a lot of strength. So maybe you've got closely aligned on your chart layouts. Nvidia, Broadcom, SMCI, AMD, CRDO, CLS, things like that on your TML type screen. Okay, you've got AppLovin, you've got PLTI, you've got Robinhood, you've got CoreWeave, you've got MBIS. And then you just start kind of piecing them all together. So that that was way too long, but hopefully that kind of makes sense in terms of how to screen. The only criteria you need, again, I think, is price above the 50-day if you want to capture these kind of stocks, right? If you want to capture the real kind of leaders in the market, price above the 50-day, like MBIS is a leader right now, price above the 50-day, price above the 200-day, set a minimum 20-day ADR percentage. I would suggest going greater than 2%. Otherwise, you're just going to be looking at a load of slow stocks, and also set a minimum dollar volume. Don't worry with average volume. I would go minimum dollar volume. It's just more effective. Again, you could set that at 25 million a day, 10 million a day, 50 million a day, whatever it may be. You can do the price times by the vol on a 1 week basis. Have a play around with it, right? Because if I drop this ADR, let's say I want to go now 2 and above, I've now gone from, what was it, about 250? I've now gone up to 690. That probably takes 20 minutes to go through that many stocks. Maybe about 1,000 stocks is half an hour or so. It doesn't take very long. And again, just going through via the industry group will give you a good feel for things. Let me maybe just go in. Does that make sense? I don't want to labor the point too much. I tend to scroll all the way down to the bottom, by the way, to load everything up, and then scroll back up like that. That's just how I do it. So if I'm going through and I'm looking at, say, semiconductors, I'm going, okay, MVTS like that. Look at this. Well, that's starting up. Earnings coming up as well. Okay, maybe I don't want to trade it too much before earnings. Okay, I'm looking at ARM Holding. Okay, Qualcomm. Oh, that looks interesting. Around the 10-day EMA. I know that I'm in the semiconductors. Okay, Intel. Look at that inside data there. Keep going. We'll get like to AMD and oh, there's TSM kind of basing. Don't look as strong as some of the others, but it just then gives you a good feel as you're going through the groups to go, okay, where is the strength? I'm looking for NVIDIA. It's going to be somewhere. And then when I get to the likes of NVIDIA, there he is. I go, okay, NVIDIA, interesting, but short-term extended. But this is how you can then start game planning out. And you go, NVIDIA looks extended, right? Highest volume in a little while. Okay, nice back-to-back 52-week highs, but got the highest volume there. It's a gap up doji supply shoot. Where do you think NVIDIA is probably going to go test next week? 10-day EMA? So then you can have it kind of on your watch list and on your monitors, and then you just know in your head, you're going, okay, I'm also watching for NVIDIA to pull back to the 10-day EMA. Now, remember, Rick sets TradingView alerts just underneath the moving averages, like that. So then you could do that. Now we just set an alert. I did that quite quickly. Let me just do that slower for you. So I quite like that idea that Rick had as well. So literally just go click around the moving average, just underneath or just above if you want. Put a horizontal ray in, right click on it, add alert. It can then send you kind of messages and whatnot as well to your phone if you want, and then go create. And then if NVIDIA comes down to that level, i.e. the 10-day EMA, ping like that, and then you know NVIDIA's around the 10-day EMA. Nice and easy. Try and make your life a little bit easier when it comes to trading. So that about sums that up, hopefully. We got Darren that's happy to join in, and Thomas as well. So I'll bring in Darren, and then I'll bring in Thomas.